Welcome to the BioVigil training video. Our goal is to teach you how to properly interact with the BioVigil hand hygiene reminder and awareness system. As a care provider, you already know the importance of maintaining good hand hygiene. The BioVigil system will help remind you and reassure your patients of your commitment to constantly practice hand hygiene. The BioVigil system consists of 3 components: the BioVigil badge, the BioVigil base station, and the BioVigil beacon. The badge is your hand hygiene partner. It'll remind you to perform hand hygiene, register your hand hygiene events, and reassure your patients of your commitment to hand hygiene. The badge has an indicator light on it. A green light indicates you're compliant with our facility's hygiene policies. A yellow light is a reminder to practice hand hygiene. A red light means you need to perform hand hygiene as soon as possible. The base station holds and charges the badges. Any badge that's red is either charging or going through a software update and should be left on the base station. Beacons are located at the threshold both inside and outside of each patient room and at each hand washing sink. They communicate with your badge to document entry and exit from patient rooms. The BioVigil system works by recording your hand hygiene events and, if necessary, reminds you to perform hand hygiene at appropriate times that are compliant with your facility's policy. To use the BioVigil system, pick up a badge. At the beginning of each shift, you'll pick up a badge from the base station, typically located in nursing units and in various support departments. To do this, you'll scan your ID on the base station and wait for one of the badges to light up white. That's the badge that's been selected for you. When you pick it up, it'll chirp, then turn green, indicating it's paired to you and ready for you to use. Attach your badge. It's important that you wear the badge up high with its front facing forward and unobstructed. The best place to wear your badge is on your shoulder. It should rest flat against your shoulder area. Record hand hygiene on the badge. Whenever you perform hand hygiene, you'll now confirm it with your badge. After using alcohol-based hand sanitizer and/or after hand washing in the sink. In both cases, after hand hygiene is performed, you'll bring one hand within 1 inch of your badge, cup it to block out any light, and then wait until you hear the confirmation tone. This tone confirms the hand hygiene event has occurred and will turn the badge green. If you don't hear the tone after 2 seconds, remove your hand from the badge completely and try again. You can perform hand hygiene by using hand sanitizer or by washing your hands in the sink. While the end result is the same, there are some differences in the behavior of the badge between the 2 methods. When using hand sanitizer, you'll dispense the appropriate amount of sanitizer onto your hand and rub it in. Enough so there's still some residue on your hands, but not so much that you'll get sanitizer on your scrubs. You'll then bring your closed, cupped hand in front of the badge and wait for the positive confirmation tone and for the badge to turn or remain green. In this case, the badge is detecting the alcohol vapor from the sanitizer, confirming that hand hygiene has been performed. If you need to wash your hands in the sink, you'll walk up to a sink outfitted with the BioVigil beacon and wash your hands as usual. The beacon will detect the presence of your badge after the required time set by your facility, typically 20 seconds. The badge light will turn blue and remain blue while you're at the sink. You do not have to wait until the badge turns blue to begin washing your hands at the sink. After you complete washing your hands at the sink, bring your closed, cupped hand in front of the badge and wait for the positive confirmation tone and for the badge to turn green. In this case, the badge is detecting that you've reached the minimum required time to perform hand hygiene. You must register your sink washing event to get credit. Since our goal is to perform hand hygiene before and after each patient interaction, the BioVigil system is set up with reminder indicators to help you stay compliant with our facility's hand hygiene policies. The badge light is an awareness indicator, letting patients know you're compliant. Your badge will remind you using sound, vibration, and light when you enter or exit a patient room. If you perform hand hygiene before entering or exiting a patient room within your facility's allowed time limit, which is typically 60 seconds, your badge will stay green. If you wait until after you walk into or after you exit the patient room to do hand hygiene, the reminder indicator begins. The badge will turn yellow and will beep and vibrate at intervals during your facility's allowed time limit. Assuming you do hand hygiene within this time limit, the badge will go back to green. If you do not complete hand hygiene within the allowed time limit, the badge will turn red. Red is what you're trying to avoid. If your badge is yellow or red, the key is to do hand hygiene as soon as possible. BioVigil is a tool designed to assist you with the facility's gel-in, gel-out policy. However, a strict gel-in, gel-out policy can sometimes be a challenge to maintain due to frequent visits in and out of the same patient room for a variety of reasons, like cleaning an unoccupied patient room, transporting a patient, or in emergency situations. The BioVigil system provides a range of workflow integration settings to accommodate these situations so that the badge does not generate excessive reminders. When you perform hand hygiene in the time window allowed, usually 60 seconds prior to entering a patient room, the badge will not remind you once you enter the room. The badge will remain green. The system works the same way when you exit a patient room. When you perform hand hygiene within the allowed time prior to exiting, the badge will not remind you. If you enter a patient room for a quick check-in without performing hand hygiene, the badge will remind you to do so. However, if you exit the room within the allowed time period, usually 60 seconds, the reminder indicated on the badge will cancel. Or, when you've performed hand hygiene in a patient room, you can exit and return to the same patient room within the allowed time period. The reminder will begin when you exit the patient room, but will cancel when you re-enter the same room in the time allotted. When you exit a patient room and practice hand hygiene, and then enter a different patient room, all within the allowed time period, the system will not prompt you to do hand hygiene again. You'll get credit for doing hand hygiene with that exit and entry into the new patient room. When you exit a patient room without performing hand hygiene and enter a different patient room, the reminder indicator on your badge will become more urgent, beeping more frequently in shorter time intervals. This type of situation could lead to cross-contamination, so hand hygiene should be performed promptly. In an emergency situation, when hand hygiene is not the priority, you can put your badge on pause, thus not get any reminders. You'll do this by deliberately pressing the front of the badge. This will put the badge in an exemption state for one room, and the badge will fade green in and out. While the exemption is in effect, entry and exit into the patient room will not trigger a reminder. This exemption will expire as soon as you go into a new patient room or the next time you perform hand hygiene. The exemption feature can also be useful when ambulating or transporting patients or going into an empty room. Many facilities require a sink wash for patients designated as Contact Plus. If this is your facility's policy, you'll be required to perform a sink hygiene event when you exit the room of a patient designated as Contact Plus. Your badge will not accept a hand sanitizer event upon exit. If you try and register an event after using hand sanitizer, the badge will make a negative tone and flash blue to remind you to perform a sink hygiene event. Upon exiting a Contact Plus room, the badge light will not return to green until you wash your hands at the sink and register the event. When you're done with your shift, return your badge to one of the empty slots in the base station. Before placing it in the base station, clean it using a sanitizer wipe. Once you place it in the base station, the badge will briefly flash blue and then will turn red to indicate it's charging. Some key takeaways. Put on a badge at the beginning of every shift. Make sure the badge is facing forward and unobstructed. Register every hand hygiene event with your badge by cupping it after using hand sanitizer or hand washing at the sink. If you have a badge that displays red, do hand hygiene as soon as possible. Use the pause feature in emergency or special situations when hand hygiene is not realistic. If you have questions about how the system works, contact your manager or infection preventionists at our facility. Thank you for being a hand hygiene hero.